How do we know, like, when Source is coming through us and when it's only ego? Because I noticed that through products that I've developed and, recordings, I've noticed that later on I kind of question, I go, wow, where did that come from? And then I get testimonials back going, wow, that was amazing. I can't believe you did that. And I just kind of like go, you know what? That wasn't me. That was Source, and I can't put a name on what my source is. I guess I'm trying to discover what, like you discovered, like Esther has discovered her source. I guess I'm trying to discover my source, like what the name of my source is.
It's easy once the momentum is there to feel the power of it. Mm-hmm. And so in the situation that you just described, it's not difficult for any of you to understand that Esther has allowed her vibration to mesh with Abraham, because what's going on here is unusual, it's remarkable, it's uplifting. You can feel the power of it. Mm-hmm. So once you're in that place where you're really allowing the momentum, then you're not questioning. But when you question is before the momentum is really going. And we say, then don't try to take score until the momentum is really going. Also, we wouldn't be quick to compare aligned receiving of inspiration in a contrasting way to ego. Because the ego, we would like to redefine that as well. You are here in this physical body, seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching and perceiving. Mm-hmm. And your personality and your ego, as far as we are concerned, are very much intertwined. It's a wonderful thing that Esther has this persona and this platform from which she and Jerry could attract Abraham. In other words, don't try so hard. In the beginning, as we wanted you and your ego to understand that there was another part of you, we began talking about your inner being. So we said, ego, we want to introduce you to inner being. Now we want to say, inner being, we want to introduce you to ego. In other words, because it all works together. Without your ability to sift through contrast and come to conclusions of things that you egotistically would desire, all kinds of everything that's in your vortex, your ego put there, you see.
Right.
And so we think what you're really asking about is, Abraham, sometimes I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and I know it. And sometimes I don't know it so well. And we say, if you don't know it, you're not tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Right. Because when you are, you are. And so just keep playing it further and further. If you're feeling some negative emotion, don't play that out further. It will just lead to nothing that is of benefit. But the better you feel, the more you continue to focus there, the more you allow that broader perspective to flow. And then finally, we want to say, you can always tell by the way you feel. In other words, you will never be in alignment with Source and say to someone, you are inappropriate, or you are wrong, or you are bad. In other words, there is never any condemnation from your alignment with Source, ever. You can tell by the way you feel, you see.
Right. And like I've noticed, like also, whenever there's a decision, like there's a decision to be either happy or there's a decision either to be, happy, because there's only one decision to make. So I find myself going to, and just like from your learnings, is that, if I do this, I'm going to be happy. And if I do this, if this doesn't happen, I'm still going to be happy. So I've noticed that to keep the vibration at the same level, that's actually helped me a lot.
That's a very good process. That we want to say that you can be miserable and less miserable also. Mm-hmm. In other words, there are degrees of those emotions all the way along. And if you are, as you are suggesting, reaching for the best feeling that you have access to from where you are, that of course is the best plan. Always, that you can't go wrong with that. But there's another piece here that you're taking us to, and we want to chew on this just a little bit, and that is, it's this subject of inspiration. Mm-hmm. And it's something that we want to say in clearer and clearer ways so that you can watch for evidence of it in your own life experience. Mm-hmm. Because and the word ego sort of introduces this and makes it an easy discussion to have now. Of course, you can accomplish things through action and behavior. Mm-hmm. You can pick that chair up and move it over there after you release it from the grip of that powerful tape. And so there are all kinds of things that your action shows you that you can accomplish. And that leads you to believe that action is the basis of creation, when really vibration is the basis of creation. So if you can begin introducing into all subjects of accomplishment, vibration, as a bigger, more important component to yourself than action, then you introduce to yourself in a gradual enough way that you'll accept it, situation by situation, it matters more how I feel than what I do. Then that introduces the idea that since it matters more how I feel, because how I feel indicates my vibration, than what I do, then you say, and I'm going to make sure of how I feel before I do. That's sort of what we were talking about meditation first. Get into the vortex and then whatever you feel like doing. So it's just setting these things in priorities. My vibration matters. My alignment matters. And then you can introduce to the subject for yourself. When I take the time to get aligned, then the inspiration happens. And under those conditions, you don't question. All kinds of things. You'll reach the place where even when unwanted things are unfolding, you could come to the place of understanding that even that seemingly unwanted path was part of the inspiration that was leading you to something that you were wanting. And that's a big piece, if you can get that in there. Because the thing that trips more people up than all other things put together is they're standing in a place, taking score of the place, deciding that it's an inappropriate place, and then losing the whole game in that moment because their vibration is disallowing their connection with that broader view. Totally. Where on the other hand, if you're standing in an unwanted place and instead of condemning yourself or being upset that you've taken a turn that you are counting as the wrong turn, and instead you say, oh, this is more clarification, this is another step in the right direction, and the evidence of it will reveal itself to me soon, then you don't lose your momentum of what you're wanting and you get right back on course. That was really significant and is the next piece that those of you who have been following us in this unfolding, that's the next place. I love this negative thing that just happened because.
Right.
I'm glad this happened because. I'm glad this happened because this is a good thing that's happening here. Because good things happen to me. That's just got to be your story, and you just got to stick to it. It'll serve you.
So if you're happy if the negative happens, and if you're happy if the good thing happens. So
because it's all unfolding.
You're in the same area.
Because it's all clarifying. Call negative things clarifying. Call unhappy things clarifying. Well, that was clarifying. That was clarifying. I'm having a lot of clarifying experiences these days on my way to a happier life.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It does.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Abraham.